you gotta kind of push through the fear. That way you can do what you gotta
Right.
do. And I definitely think like that idea, especially, really comes through the book, especially in like the latter half,
Yeah.
where they start going up against Troop 13, and you can see it, especially within, I believe it's Vaughn, where they're dealing with, sort of coming into their own, but having that fear of, oh, the guys we're up against are like the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone, I think that line specifically comes through where it's just like, look, you're afraid, yes, but just go. You have to go. It's time to do it. Um, and then yeah, they go into the tournament and actually fight them. So I think that's fantastic. And I was wondering, so I know you've got this book, your omnibus collection.
Yes.
You've got the ABCs of Haya, which is, as I understand it, um, sort of like a basics book, correct?
Yeah. It's a kid's book. It's my Doctor Seuss book. It's my Doctor Seuss book. Uh, it's supplementary to the book. It has Bon and Claire's little brother Lionel,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a play off of Leonardo and Raphael, right? That's so
Nice.
and uh, uh, that's just kind of where my head's at. But it's just something that I thought would be nice to have for like the real younger ones, and
Mm.
like the uh, sometimes the words are a little bit big, and I've had some people say like, but maybe a kid can't read this, and it's like if you've talked to a kid, the way that you talk to a kid is the way that they're gonna listen and the way they're gonna talk back, right? So
Yep.
if you talk to a little kid like this all the time, then they're gonna be the annoying 8-year-old that still talks like this, but they're 8, right? if you if you speak to them like a person, then they're gonna respond like a person. They're gonna grow as a person, and that's there's very simply it starts A is for attention, B is for bow, it's like C is for concentration. You're gonna need it now, and then
Oh,
it's just
nice.
it's a story about Lionel just basically trying to break a board. Right, he's trying to break a board and he can't break the board. It hurts, right? It hurts and he can't do it and he gets all grumpy because he can't break it. But then the master lets him know that this is what you have to do. You can't let your mind bring you down. You have to have the intention to do it because the universe bends to your will. So you just keep pushing, and he pushes at the end, and then they get something, and the prize at the end is they got to train again.
Always.
Right.
Always
I
moving
was thinking I
forward.
was thinking about putting a prize. Right. Spoiler alert, guys. Sorry.
Wonderful. And so I was curious. So obviously you've got quite a bit on the go here. I've seen through your social media you've worked on different covers. If I'm not mistaken, you've done a cover for Chris Barnes at one point.
Yeah, I did.
Um,
Like so, he's got. Wait, hold on, I got this right here. I just got this. So Chris, I
yeah.
got it right here. Bam. So I got his Omega Squad. Uh, like he just asked for like pinups, like pinups or variant covers or whatever, and then like I just put that. I took a Dark Knight Returns,
Very
put his guys on it,
nice.
right? So yeah. So Chris he was like my first actually my first con buddy, right? When I
Ah,
started to
okay.
go, he was the guy that right. I was like, oh, you have like the cages, and you put up your art. I was like, boy, I should do that. And uh, we would go back and forth and meet up at cons, and a lot of times like people would know that we're buddies, so we tabled together, share a
Ah,
stapler,
okay.
share a
Yep.
stapler, do a sketch duel, right? Do a sketch duel, just right. I'm like, oh, let's draw a Green Lantern. And, he would do his, and I would do mine, and whatever, and then we just have it out. And he was a great guy to kind of like bounce ideas about process
Mhm.
off of, and I learned a lot just from the days just hanging out with him. And he put his book out when I put my book out on Amazon. He jumped up. He jumped on. He's like, "Hey man, you know, like, how'd you do that?" And we just went over some things. And now he's on his second one. Right, he's on his second one, and I did a
Wow.
pinup. I did a pinup for that one too. His second one's going to be in color. But yeah, that's so. I'm I was really happy that he even that I'm happy that he appreciated just things that we did together to push ourselves forward. So I'm happier than anything to see him get his second book out, and like I have his floppies from like that were on like 8.5 by 11 paper, folded over. I think I have like the first chapter like not even stapled and colored in like pencil crayon, right? Because we were just sitting and talking to each other, trading stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. And so I was curious, now that I imagine so anyway, with COVID and all the restrictions and stuff, obviously just like every other business I imagine where you teach has been affected as well. Do you find yourself with more time sort of on your hands in general? And are you working on any new comics or the next project?
Yes, and yes. So all of that stuff. So when when quarantine hit, like for that first time, I got a little, you get caught up. This was my life in this whole time, and what am I to do, right? Other than help my kids with their schoolwork, and then take them out for recess and come back. Like, what am I gonna do for me, right? Because a lot of my career was as unselfish as it seemed at times, it was innately selfish because I enjoyed it and I felt good doing it, right? But so we did things like people did what they had to do, like online classes, and online classes were they were fun for me because I actually got to teach my kids. I actually got to teach my kids. I put them in uniforms, threw them downstairs, and we got to do some stuff online, and that was a cool experience. But it was an opportunity for me to draw more. It was nice because I ordered, and I was part of this. I was part of this project. So there's a YouTube channel, podcast called Cartoonist Kayfabe. One of the mods on the Facebook group for the channel, this guy Eli, he said, right, because this channel they started off the old Wizard, the old Wizard magazines, right, like back in the 90s, and so like that kind of sucked a whole bunch of people in. But he's like, let's make I think jokingly he was like, let's make a new wizard, right? Let's make like a spoof wizard, and he started calling for submissions for people in this. It's just a fan thing, right? It's just a fan
just for
thing.
fun.
This wasn't like a money thing. It was a fan thing. So he set it up, right? He set it up, and he's like, yeah. And people started bringing in submissions. But the thing was, the submissions that he got didn't look like fan things. The submissions that he got looked really, really good, right? And he's like, I can't even make a joke out of this anymore. I was trying to make it a joke, but I can't make it a joke. It looks so good.
Wow.
So he did that, and I remember I asked him. I think it was like late, like either, I think it was late 2019, like around this time. I was like, do you have any more room? And I put in, I made like an Etch A Sketch comic. Right?
I wanted to ask you about that too.
Because I'm really good at that. So I grabbed a bunch of old Etch sketches that I made, like just a couple pictures that I made, and I put it into a narrative. I made some kind of story with it. It was a mess. Right? So hold on, let me
go for it.
I have it here prepared. Okay, so this is what it looks like.
Awesome. Yeah, that doesn't look like a fan thing or like a for fun joke spoof.
This is not a
like
fan
that's a magazine.
yeah. It's a magazine.
Right? Fair enough. Right?
Yeah,
like that's.
Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah. So another Canadian guy, my buddy David Browers, he did this cover, colored by Ben Granoff, another guy that I met over quarantine. But there's just some like if you want to take a flip inside, so okay, this is for the team here. Boom, inside.
Awesome.
So they just have a bunch of stuff. So, but yeah, so I did that, and over the over quarantine, I was basically just waiting for it in the mail, and got in the mailbox, and when I finally got it, it felt so great because I was like, wow. I wanted it first just so I could have like a published thing of mine, right? I wanted it first, so like this is what it is. So
yeah,
so I would do this. I did that, and then I just wanted it like there's my Banksy, right?
Yep.
But I would do that, and I was just waiting, and I got really, really excited. I got really excited for it, not just because of my stuff, which was in there, I was happier than anything to know. It was like, I'm in something that I didn't print myself.
Exactly.
That made me feel that made me feel real. My daughter was like, "Daddy, you're famous." And I was like, "Kind of, but not really, but yeah." Right,
you're published.
Right, so I was like, I had it, and it's cool. There's a Jack Kirby story in there, like that's public domain, and there's a Jack Kirby. I was like, I'm in the same book as Jack Kirby. Not
that
really, but
so
yeah,
cool.
but yes, really,
yeah,
yes, really. And so that was a big thing.